welcome to the Drive and Dish podcast. We're here with our man, Dynamite David, ready to make his very first appearance on the Drive and Dish with some college picks today. Are you excited to get into the college basketball world as we ease you out of the college football world?
Yeah, just a few picks today. We'll see how it goes. If I get off to a pretty rough start, I don't know if I'll keep it up, but we'll give it a shot.
All right. We'll recap yesterday, December the 10th. We had a light load. I went 1-2. That brings us to 53, 39, and 1 overall. North Alabama did not show up for us yesterday. Somehow managed to lose to Troy, but I guess if the teams only played 2 games against Division II, even though they've dominated them, they did not come out and were capable of beating Troy and got pretty much blitzed right off the start. South Dakota State did not cover the 8.5-point line. Pretty lazy game for them, but nonetheless won, but I did not win that pick. But San Diego State continues to be a nice little bullet to ride as they dominate the Pac-12, and yet they still give them plus versus the Pac-12, though they've been dominating the Pac-12 essentially for the last 20 years. So as long as they want to keep giving San Diego State plus versus Pac-12 teams, we're going to milk that ride as they beat Arizona State and beat them pretty handily 66-54. So 1-2 overall. We got a nice little slate, a interesting slate of games for December 11th. We'll start out with the Dynamite. What do you have on your picks today for college basketball?
First up, I've got a 9 o'clock game, probably one of the bigger matchups of the day. I like UCLA minus the 5 at home versus Marquette. UCLA's been hot as of late since losing their first game of the season, 4 in a row. Pretty good defense. They're, only allowing 67 points per game while scoring 80 points per game. So, and they're really clicking offensively now. So I like them to get the points and win by 5 against Marquette.
Yeah, interesting game. Marquette with, high pace, a lot of threes, and then you got the Cronin style backing up UCLA, who have been really, really efficient the last handful of games after sort of a slow opener. So I sort of like that pick. We'll see if UCLA can continue their good play. What do you got next for us?
Next up, I like UNC Asheville at home minus the 4.5 against High Point. UNC Asheville's really good at defense and rebounding the ball, and they're off to a slow start too, but I think they're starting to figure things out, and I like them minus the 4.5 at home.
Yeah, I liked the UNC Asheville one. Couple tough, close games versus Western Carolina and their rival UNC Wilmington, but seemed to get on track versus South Carolina State. So that was a good one to look at, definitely there. All right, what do you got else?
My final game of the day, I like Murray State minus the 6.5 at Southern Illinois. I think this is a big-time game. Could be high scoring, but the favorite in this game in the last 8 is 5-2-1. So I'm going to ride with the favorite, Murray State.
Oh, good choice. A big rivalry, especially back in the day. 2 schools that aren't separated by a whole lot of distance there, but going with Murray State should be a pretty decent game to watch if you're looking for some small schools to stare down. All right, so we'll switch to my picks on the day. First, we're going to start out with some big schools, and then we're essentially going to stay in the small schools of the Northeast. But first, we're going to ride Seton Hall minus the 4 versus St. John's. Seton Hall has been a little bit of a bugaboo for me, but they seem to have gotten back on track with wins over Penn State and Wagner in the last couple days. And this St. John's team is just a little weird. Very hit or miss 3-point wise. They shoot a ton of threes. So we're hoping Seton Hall's defense can slow down the threes. And I think Seton Hall's a better team here. So we're going to ride Seton Hall minus the 4 versus St. John's. Next, we're going way up north and going to take Niagara plus the 9 over St. Peter's. Niagara doesn't have a lot of games played. They only played the one versus Syracuse and got dominated. But the 9 points seems like a little bit of a jump here versus a poor St. Peter's team with wins over LaSalle and Stony Brook, but they got dominated by Maryland. So I think these two teams right are around the same sort of level of play. We'll certainly see because we haven't seen anything from Niagara really so far this year. Next up, we're going to ride a terrible team in Fairfield who has yet to win, but Iona keeps getting plus, and that's mostly because Rick Pitino's there, but they just lost to Morgan State the other day. So if you're giving me 5 points for a bad Fairfield team versus a bad Iona team, I think I'll ride Fairfield there. And another one we're staying in the Northeast, Canisius, -4 versus Marist. Canisius has not yet played, so we're in our unknown territory here, but Marist's only win is 2 wins over Binghamton. So we like Canisius getting as a 4-point favorite here over a porous Marist team. So next up, we're going back into the big schools. A old school Big East rivalry here, Georgetown. Definitely not as good as Villanova, but the 11.5 points for 2 sort of old school Big East rivals. I think this will be a tight game. I think Georgetown will definitely bring their A game here. Now, whether they're really as good as Villanova, I don't think so, but I think they'll at least bring a high level of play to cover that 11-point spread. And last but not least, we're riding another team who has yet to play this season, Manhattan, plus the 1 versus Rider. Rider is really, really bad. Bad losses to St. John's and Syracuse. So we're going to see if the boys from Manhattan have anything, and hopefully they can cover this +1. All right, so those are my picks. It's a good show, good day of games. We'll see if Dynamite David has some picks for us tomorrow on a big Saturday filled slate, or they all get postponed. There's really no telling what's coming in the college basketball days. That's our show. Be sure to follow us on greenlightnetwork.org, and you can follow Dynamite David at
GLN Dynamite _D.
And I'm, as always, GLN Champ 5 at both Instagram and Twitter. That's our show, and we're out.